Kia MVP Award is without a doubt the most prestigious honor a player can earn in the regular season, although it is a bit of a bummer that the criteria for it is largely flawed.
What do you mean by that?
Now don't get me wrong, the correct player wins the MVP most of the time. However, seasons like this one happen every so often and expose the flaws within the system. This season, one team has stood atop the Western Conference and has even clinched the best record in the NBA, and that would be the Phoenix Suns. They clinched the best record in the NBA with 8 games left to play. They lead the NBA in point differential, are third in offensive and defensive efficiency. They've been better than every team by a good margin, and yet not one of their players have top 3 odds to win the award. The odds change from day to day more than the seasons. As things sit right now, Nikola Jokic, Joel Embiid, and Giannis Antetokounmpo are the favorites to win the award, with Devin Booker and Luka Doncic lagging far behind. Now here's the weird part. At the time of this recording, the Denver Nuggets are 47-33, which is 6th in the West. The Milwaukee Bucks are 49-30, which is 3rd in the Eastern Conference. The Philadelphia 76ers are 49-30, which is the 4th seed. Then the Dallas Mavericks are the 4th seed in the Western Conference with a 49-30 record. So judging by the winning criteria, the nod would go to Devin Booker in that category. Out of the last 5 players to win the Kia MVP, 3 of them had the best record in the NBA. Giannis twice in back-to-back years, and James Harden in 2018. At least he was top 2 in that instance. The other 2 instances were Jokic last year, when he won in large part due to the fact that Joel Embiid, his primary competition, did not play in enough games. Then the other instance being Russell Westbrook, when he averaged a triple-double and was the first player to do so since Oscar Robertson in 1962. More often than not, the MVP normally comes from the team with the best record, especially when they have the best record by such a large margin in the manner that the Phoenix Suns currently do, or when a guy like Russell Westbrook has a historic season with the averaging a triple-double since Oscar Robertson. Those are really the only times you see it happen outside of a guy having the top record. Although sometimes, if the records are close enough, it simply boils down to individual stats. I've included a chart with each player's numbers this season because we would be here all day if I read off each player's stats individually. The stat known as PER is often a good reference point among other stats to evaluate how great of an overall season a player is having. It takes into account all their production on both offense and defense. Each of the top 5 MVP finalists are having impressive individual seasons. In particular, Jokic and Giannis are undoubtedly having the superior statistical years to the rest. Then you consider the factor of availability being the best ability, where Devin Booker has played in more games than anyone else in the running. Booker winning this MVP off the strength of his team record would not be unprecedented as it has happened in the modern era before. Let's choose a controversial instance to go back to: Steve Nash versus LeBron James. Most people tend to go back and forth over Steve Nash winning over Shaquille O'Neal, but his winning the award over LeBron James could be viewed in a similar light. When Nash won his 2nd MVP award, the Suns were the 3rd seed in the Western Conference and had the 4th best record in the NBA. James, who came 2nd in MVP voting, had the Cavaliers in the 3rd seed in the East and 6th best record in the NBA. Nash's Suns were the best offense in the NBA, leading in points per game, assists, 3-point percentage, pace, and true shooting percentage, while James's Cavs hardly compared from a team performance standpoint and were a middle-of-the-pack team across the board. However, James's value with that team was unquestionable, as they were only relevant due to his individual performances. The Cavs' 50-32 record was only 4 games back of the Suns' 54-28 record. Booker's Suns are top 4 in all the aforementioned categories that Nash's Suns exceeded in outside of pace. James, in a similar fashion to Jokic, Giannis, and Embiid, had a better individual season statistically than Nash. However, unlike James's Cavs, none of the other MVP candidates' teams are even within single digits of the Suns' record at the time of this recording. And yet, someone out of those 3 players most likely will win the award instead of Devin Booker. This outlines the major inconsistencies within the scheme of the voting and the criteria for the award. It's largely subjective, with narratives often playing a large role in whoever wins the award. While the premise of most valuable player is subjective based on the statement itself, there is value in streamlining the process as much as possible so it can be somewhat consistent. The criteria for the award in a season like this becomes murky because there's no clear-cut favorite that satisfies both sides of the requirement. Rather, most of these players satisfy one part of the criteria to the full extent and lack in the other department. The argument for Booker rests within his team's success and their dominance through wins, while the rest of the field rests heavily within their individual statistical greatness. This season exposes the holes in the MVP process because it boils down to each of the voters' preferences. However, because there is no clear-cut MVP winner, it actually can act as a means to find some clarity. Sure, there will be those that try to coddle the integrity of the choice, saying things like,
"Oh, well, he had the stats and the wins, which is why he deserves it."
Don't insult my intelligence, bro.
How dare you?
When Booker's team is double-digit wins ahead of the pack, the other players do not get the credit of also having the wins.
Say that again.
When Booker's team is double-digit wins ahead of the pack, the other players do not get the credit of also having the wins.
That again.
Everyone should watch this MVP selection very closely because it will tell us everything we need to know about what is truly valuable going forward. Alright guys, thanks for tuning into this KBR Sports video. Of course, if you're not already subscribed, make sure you guys go ahead and hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any future videos. Of course, make sure you hit the post notification bell so you also are always getting notified whenever a new video is going up. And if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like. It helps support the channel. Comment down below. That, more than anything else, helps support this channel and helps bring new viewers to the channel and helps the YouTube algorithm get going. I'm trying to improve my consistency so YouTube will bless me with more the algorithm pushing my videos out there, but your comments will definitely help, and sharing this video out with a friend will definitely help as well. But let me know what you all think, because I really want to know your thoughts on this and the MVP award, because it's something that has just been grating my mind over the last month or so as I've heard the different debates go back and forth about who they think could win the award. And I'm sitting here, I'm like, man, Devin Booker really isn't in the running at all. And granted, I understand his stat, like the video stated, is not on par with the other players in the field. But when we're talking about wins and how valuable wins are to the overall look of the MVP, that's when it becomes a little murky for me, right? And it all boils down to what everybody's like. Even you watching this video, what do you define as the MVP? Is it the team that the guy who is in the AC dragged along to get into the playoffs, or who is it, right? Or is it the guy who has his team at the top of the standings and his team has been performing very well? But naturally, when your team is up that high, you also do have a really good team. So let me know what your thoughts are. Drop them down in the comment section, because I will truly love to hear you guys' thoughts on this. And of course, follow my social media. That will all be linked below. And of course, make sure you join the Discord. I always enjoy talking with anybody who joins the Discord, talking about different sports topics, whatever the case might be. And if you guys have any video topics you want me to talk about as we're coming near the NBA playoffs, let me know. I would love to talk about whatever you guys want to hear and talk about. So guys, until next time, I'm out. Thanks for watching. Or they have, no, that's, I freestyled on that.